So I thought I'd do a video here and there about some of the things that you do to maintain vehicles for a small local church. This is a 2007 E-350, and if you know these vehicles, historically they have a lot of problems with the door handles. They've got metal cables that go from this latch to the handles, and the ends will break off and you have to put metal ends on. I'll show at some point in the future. Most recently, I've had a problem. I replaced this latch assembly, but for some reason, it decided to quit working again. And what would happen is it would lock but not unlock with the actuator. At the same time, the outside door handle quit working. So I replaced this door handle. I had to replace it with one off of Amazon and put new rivets in. After I replaced the door handle, I used it 2 or 3 times and then it quit working. So the door handle's not bad now, but this latch assembly is. And so what I've done, I've purchased a new latch assembly. It's here. Here's one for the side door, made in China. Well, that's probably why it didn't last very long. Door latch, cable, and rod. And this is one for the back door. The primary door will open, but the secondary door won't. So what I'm going to chronicle here this morning is just how to take this apart. The first thing you do is you take these screws out so that this can lift up. This trim ring right here, it's on with just some teeth. They bite into the trim ring and you just pull on it and it pulls loose. There's the teeth right there, so I'll go ahead and pop the rest of it loose. These screws come out here, this comes off, and then this door panel lifts up and then comes out, and I'll video once I get to that point. So that took all of about 30 seconds to take that off. Just snapped those off. These screws have to come off first, and probably should unscrew I unscrewed the lock-unlock plastic thing so you don't break it. You don't want to break those. These screws came out of the handle and then the door just slid up. You can see the type of way that it's fastened. So don't pull it straight out. You'll break those off and then you'll have to try and find a panel. Then inside, there's going to be a couple challenges. One is going to be the electronic lock mechanism. You can kind of see that. This connector comes off pretty easy. You pry these metal tabs apart, and then this is loose in here. And you need to do that so that you can, sorry about the lighting, you need to do that so that it gives you some freedom of movement when you take the latch loose. Another thing that you'll have to do is right here. I found it much easier. I don't know if you can see it. That is the manual door lock. And so there's a tab that you simply just pull out, just like this. And it comes off. It's crazy how easy that's held in the door. And that'll just slide right out of the hole. And the reason you do that is you're going to need to take this rod loose from that. And it's far easier to take it loose. Now once you take it loose that way, when you're reassembling it, you slide that back in the hole and lock it in, and then this just pinches in. I'll show you when we get there. All right, let's go ahead and take it apart. So we've loosened the latch mechanism, and you can see how it's loose in here right now. Before that's going to come out, we're going to have to take the cable loose that holds that's held in to the outside door latch. And so maybe using my flashlight's going to help. That is right here on, there it is right there. It's a little bit discombobulating. So you're going to have to take that cable loose from that door latch. That door latch is riveted in, and you pop the rubber off like this. Just pop it loose, And then once the cable can move around freely, that'll come loose. The other thing is this door latch right here holds on the inside latch, that screw. So these are two 10mm nuts, and this handle will come off. Then the screw allows the door latch to come off from the inside. Although before I take it apart, I wanted to show you, these are Torx bits, and you can use a regular Torx bit screwdriver. What I have found is helpful is I got a Torx bit set that fits in my socket wrench or ratchet, and you can generate enough force. When you put these back in, there's going to be a temptation to torque them down really hard. I've found that you can use a little bit of blue Loctite, and that way you can torque them appropriately, but they won't rattle loose. So this is the new mechanism. This rod has to be installed, and this goes down to the lock mechanism operated by the key. This is the door lock mechanism that goes up and down out of a little hole right there. And then this hole right here corresponds to the electronic lock mechanism. And your door handle cable right here is going to go out sideways and then orient to those holes right there. And this top one, actually it's going to have kind of a roundabout route. It's actually sticking straight up. Once it's installed in here, it sticks straight up, goes around, and then comes down to the handle, which is right there. And so when you put it in, you have to lean it this way, make it kind of cockeyed, and then slide it down behind that latch up into the hole. And you work at it a bit and you'll get it figured out. So I've installed the new latch assembly, got it in here. One of the problems I ran into, and you may, is when you put all that bundle of octopus cable stuff up inside there, it's going to be difficult. You have to make sure that this rod goes up through the hole before you put your bolts in, because once you put your bolts in, you won't be able to get that up in there. So what you're going to have to do is use a flashlight, look down through these holes, and orient this into the hole before. The other thing you're going to want to be careful of is the rod that is operated by that right there. It goes all the way up to there. And when I was putting it in, it slipped past the first zigzag. I'll show you what I mean. I accidentally slipped it past. I got it all down in here because it doesn't come in the lock assembly. You have to put it in, and somehow it got like this. And when I finally got the latch assembly in, and I got that in correctly, then I realized that this was not in correctly, and I was trying to hook it up to the key latch. So I had to take the screws out and then manipulate that to where I could pull that back through and then down in, because the key latch pushes up and then pulls down, and there's a range of motion. You can see that. So there's a couple things you're going to have to negotiate. This new door latch came, I had to thread that in, but now it's being put back together and it works. I'll show you. It's a good idea to test these before you finish everything, and so it works. All right, and now on to the next job.